To many, I am a short-lived king who left little mark on history. I am unlike my father, Henry VIII, whose charm won the hearts of his subjects and the hands of 6 beautiful queens. Nor am I like my half-sister, Bloody Mary, who burned Protestant priests like candles. I am also not like my half-sister Elizabeth, who is the subject of movies and discussion till this day. Why did she refuse to marry? Who did she love? To most people, I am just a sick boy, manipulated by the Duke of Northumberland into giving my crown to his daughter-in-law, Jane Grey. Sick boy? No, you're wrong. I am tall and intelligent like my father, Henry VIII. I am good-looking with a great personality, like my mother, Queen Jane Seymour. I was once a happy and compassionate boy. Actually, I was very close to my 2 half-sisters. Princess Elizabeth once gave me a shirt she made for me herself. And although I did not approve of her interest in foreign dances in 1546, I sent Mary a note stating, "I love you most." For a boy who had to grow up without a mother, a sister who is 21 years my senior is the perfect replacement for a mom. But the older I get, the more I know about them, and the less I like them. I realized that they were not really my sisters. They were the products of my father's mistakes. Mary's mother committed the crime of incest when she lied to my father about her relationship with my uncle Arthur. Catherine of Aragon led my father to believe that their marriage was never consummated. Elizabeth's adulterous mother lied to my father, manipulated him, and then had adulterous affairs with 5 men. When I was old enough to understand the extent of her crimes, I wished my father had not beheaded her, though I could have done it myself. I couldn't even trust that Elizabeth was really my sister. The chance of her being the daughter of Anne Boleyn's lover is 5 times more likely than her being my sister. When I learned the teaching of God, I realized that my mission in life was to protect the Protestant faith. I felt so strongly against the evils in Rome that I wrote a treatise about why the Pope isn't the Antichrist. Remember, I was only 12. I was interested in analyzing theological controversies. I did live up to my Tudor name, to be brave, intelligent, logical, and a bit cold-hearted. But I want you to know how proud I am to be my father's son. Not because he built England from the ground up, not because he had many military and diplomatic victories that he could brag about, not even because he is a decisive and charismatic leader, but because he brought the Protestant religion to England. My life changed when my father married Queen Catherine Parr in 1543. She was kind and loving. She convinced my father to add Mary and Elizabeth back to the succession list. She treated us like her own, and she was wise, with a great personality. I called her my most dear mother, as I had received so many benefits from her that my mind could hardly grasp them. But even with her care, my father's health was in steady decline. The last time I wrote to them was in January 1547, thanking them for his New Year's gifts on their portraits. My father died 2 weeks later. My uncle Edward Seymour and William Paget took me to Lady Elizabeth's residence and told both of us of our father's death and his will. On February 20th, 1547, during my coronation, I was told to continue the reformation of the Church of England, the tyranny of the bishops in Rome banished from your subjects and images removed. I knew from that day on it was my duty to protect England and my faith.
I didn't want to die. I had a country facing civil unrest and a hostile neighbor in the north. My son was only 9. How could I die? How could I leave the burden of running the country like that to a young boy? I handpicked 16 executors to act as Edward's council members. They were supposed to protect him and the country. I tried to balance the power by naming both conservatives and reformers to the Privy Council. I also included Jane's 2 brothers. I hoped Edward and Thomas Seymour could protect my son, their nephew. However, soon after my death, Stephen Gardiner, the lead conservative Privy Councillor, was kicked out, while Thomas Howard, the 3rd Duke of Norfolk, was accused of treason. His estate was taken, and he was locked in the Tower of London until his death. In a very short time, the power and land of the old faith were distributed to other council members. Protestants or Catholics, greed is greed. It is sad that no one trusted following my orders. Soon, Edward Seymour became the Lord Protector of my son Edward. He was named the Duke of Somerset, the most powerful lord in England. Then my widow, Catherine Parr, who was allowed to keep her jewelry and money and the title Queen Dowager, jumped to the arms of Thomas Seymour. In 6 months, she secretly married Thomas Seymour. Poor Catherine. Look what kind of husband you found for yourself in such a rush. Thomas Seymour might have been young and handsome, but the only thing he wanted was your money. Have you thought of what this scandalous love affair would do to our reputation? Catherine and Thomas did not share their wedding news until Catherine was pregnant. The king, the councils, and Lady Mary all became furious. However, they forgave her because of their love for her. Lady Elizabeth even moved in with her to further her education. Catherine soon realized what a mistake she made when she saw her husband, Thomas Seymour, in a compromising position with Lady Elizabeth. She asked Lady Elizabeth to move out, and she died a few months later after giving birth to a short-lived baby girl.
Life under the protection of my uncle Edward Seymour was terrible. He did not allow me to play with other children, and I was a king with no spending money. He thought I had no need for money. Right, but that is not his business. My other uncle, Thomas Seymour, tried to play the good uncle. He often brought me gifts of money. I loved to collect the shiny gold coins he gave me, but as I got older, I realized those came from my mint, and he had stolen them from me. When I heard about his despicable affair with Lady Elizabeth, my affection to him turned to hatred. When my beloved stepmother, Catherine, died, I hated him even more. I had no problem condemning him to death when he became crazy and entered my home one night, obviously with the intention to kidnap me. He must have been pretty surprised when I came in as a witness at his trial, to testify on how he gave me coins stolen from my royal mint. The council couldn't find evidence against him on charges of treason, so they condemned him to death for failing his duty to me. He was beheaded in March of 1549. I was glad my mother wasn't alive to see how greedy and sinful her brother was. Of course, my other uncle could have saved his brother, but he did not feel that it was worth the trouble. How stupid he was, watching his brother die on some petty charge. People realized his nephew, the king, shed no tears on signing his uncle's death warrant. So maybe he would not mind signing another one to get rid of his least favorite uncle. That happened sooner than anyone expected. In October 1549, Edward Seymour sensed the political climate against him. He issued a proclamation calling for assistance, took the king with him, and withdrew to Windsor Castle. He did this in such a way that I wrote in my diary, "Methinks I am in prison." That, of course, earned him a ticket to the Tower of London. He would have lost his head if not for my leniency, but the council and I decided to release him in 1550 and allow him back to the council. However, he tried to overthrow Dudley's council, so was beheaded in 1552. I wrote in my chronicle the Duke of Somerset had his head cut off upon Tower Hill between 8 and 9 o'clock in the morning. Considering the honor and power my father and I gave him, it is such a shame that he repaid us with greed and treason. I know a king should never trust anyone, not your uncle, your sister, or even your mother. I know I will be a great king like my father, because I have no emotional attachment to the people around me. I'm always polite and gentle. I have a good head and never lose my cool. If only I could add 10 more years. I'd be the king everyone talks about. I would have a beautiful queen and lots of children. But I got seriously ill in February 1553. By June, I had to face the fact that I wouldn't make it to my 17th birthday. I didn't want to die. I had so many things I wanted to do. So many. But one must go when God calls. I can't die in peace knowing what my sister Mary would do after my death. I had no choice but to cut her off the succession list. As for Lady Elizabeth, she may be my father's daughter, but I just can't leave the English crown to someone with no morals and questionable birth. So, I decided to leave my throne to Lady Jane Grey, my cousin, once removed. Jane was a devoted Protestant and intelligent Tudor girl. I know she will be a great queen. Before my death, I had signed in front of a lawyer my device for succession, and I made sure the council knew I wrote it out in my own will, while I had a clear and sound mind. To make sure the act would be followed, over 100 nobles signed. However, Lady Jane was queen for only 9 days. When Mary's troops approached London, all the nobles who supported my succession plan bowed to her and changed sides. Mary then tried to force the Catholic in on England. She married Philip II of Spain, burnt Protestant priests, and turned the England bloody red. I could have never imagined that the one who restored the Protestant faith would be my other sister, Elizabeth. And despite the early affairs with Thomas Seymour, she stayed single her entire life. On my dying bed, I wonder if my father will be angry with me if I meet him in heaven. Will he be mad at me for superseding his act of succession? Will he be mad that I died without an heir? Will he be angry about me dying so young? Sorry, Dad. I did what I had to do. I wish I had done more. I'm sorry for disappointing you.
That's okay, son. No matter what happened, the show went on. Tudor blood still runs through every English royalty today.